Louisville man accused of a shooting at a mayoral candidate in his campaign office just Monday has pleaded not guilty. Right now, Quintez Brown is behind bars on $100,000 cash bond, charged with attempted murder and 4 counts of wanton endangerment.
He walked into our office. When we greeted him, he pulled out a gun, aimed directly at me, and began shooting.
2 days later.
Part of the conditions on the bond of the bond, Mr. Brown is to have no further violations of the law, no contact with the alleged victims, not to be on the property of the victim's residence. Once this is posted, HIP, no contact with employees and campaign staff.
Jennifer 631.
No contact with place of violation, no contact with the victim's residence. Okay, any violations of those, along with not making the future court dates, could cause the bond money to be forfeited. The bond money will be tied up with the case for the duration of the case. You and only you will be able to get this back once the case is closed. Depending on whether it closes here in district or circle is where you'll go with the receipt you'll receive at the end of this transaction and get your money back.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get the door. Get the door. No comment. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Somebody help me down the steps. Get him in the car.
Happy day, oh happy day, oh happy day, oh happy day, when Jesus washed all our sins away.
All right, guys, so what you're looking at right there is BLM posting bail for their assassin, okay? And I'm talking about Mr. Quintez Brown, whom I did a video about yesterday as he attempted to assassinate a Democrat mayoral candidate by the name of Craig Greenberg. Now, the story goes that he just walked into the office, okay? Basically pulled out his gun, aimed it directly at the guy, and tried to kill him, okay? But apparently the dude's aim was so bad that he only ended up like scraping Mr. Greenberg, and thank God he's still alive. Okay, now you would think that an attempted murder, okay, which is what this guy was charged with, right? He was charged with attempted murder and 4 counts of wanton endangerment. You would think that with charges like those that indicate that he's a violent man, you would think that he would not get the opportunity to post bail, or at the very least, if he's gonna have the opportunity to post bail, that it would be an extraordinarily high amount where it wouldn't be easy for a group like Black Lives Matter or some of these other woke revolutionaries who support this stuff to be able to bail him out. However, because our criminal justice system is broken, this guy's bail was set to $100,000, and lo and behold, BLM was able to bail him out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the local news footage regarding BLM bailing this guy out. And I want you guys to just pay attention to the excuse that one of the leaders of the local organization that is doing this. I want you guys to pay attention to her excuse for why she thinks that this is the right thing to do. Take a look.
Of course, the man accused of shooting at mayoral candidate Craig Greenberg in Butchertown on Monday, charged with attempted murder. Now, the Louisville Community Bail Fund got the money together with the help of Black Lives Matter. Rachel Droz has been covering every step to the bond process today. She was there as it was posted, and Rachel's joining us live here at 6. And Rachel, has Quintez Brown been released yet? What do you know about that?
No, Doug, we are still waiting on Quintez Brown to be released from the jail, which is right behind me, after that local organization paid his $100,000 cash bond.
And we'll get this sent right over to court.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
The Louisville Community Bail Fund says the organization is paying for Brown's release to keep him safe and give him the help he needs, especially after the recent string of deaths at LMDC.
The jail right now, LMDC leadership,
have not been able to support the people that are in their care. Legally, that is what they're supposed to do.
Chanel Helm says activists and organizers like Brown likely have PTSD after the past couple of years of social unrest and the pandemic, and says her organization has provided Brown's family with a list of mental health services.
In this case, we're dealing with someone that has mental health issues.
Helm is an organizer at Black Lives Matter Louisville and the founder of the Louisville Community Bail Fund. She knows Brown personally and says it was important for her and the organization to help him.
We have someone who has ignored the West End, has created multiple opportunities for himself that has been hit by this gun violence. And then we have somebody who has been fighting and creating opportunities for others and himself to end gun violence, to end violence in his community.
Helm also says she thinks there are multiple sides to all stories.
This didn't affect only those folks in the office and their families. This didn't just affect Quintez's family and the people who love him in this community as well. This affects everybody every day.
Now, we aren't sure when exactly Brown will be released, but LMDC officials say it usually takes 1 to 4 hours after bail is posted. Doug?
Well, Rachel, has Craig Greenberg commented on this bond posting that happened today yet?
Not yet. I've been in contact with his team, and they said that they will be sending a statement at some point, but I just have not received that yet. I'll be sure to update everyone once I get it.
Wow. Just wow. Did you guys pick up on the Black Lives Matter lady and what she was saying? All the excuses that she was using. Well, this guy has PTSD. Right? He's traumatized from the pandemic and the social justice protests, right? Which I'm assuming she's low-key trying to say he's traumatized from police brutality or something like that. Something crazy. And then she says, well, he got mental health issues and, you know, blah, 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 blah. Right? And that's why we're getting him out of jail. Okay? And she also briefly mentions how, allegedly the jail is supposed to be dangerous. Him sitting in jail is supposed to be dangerous because some people have died in jail over the past, few years or whatever, right? And I'm like, listen, the last thing I'm worried about when it comes to attempted failed assassins is how dangerous the jail might be, okay? That's the last thing I'm worried about here. But my opinion, the more accurate description of what's probably going on with this guy is that he may have some mental issues, but he's also probably been radicalized. He's probably been radicalized by all of the activities that he's participated in and the rhetoric from the far left. And organizations like BLM that has repeatedly told people, specifically black people in this country, that we are under attack, that police are indiscriminately killing black men in the streets, right? That we are oppressed and that we need to be liberated because we are still slaves in this society. Okay, we're second-class citizens according to the radical rhetoric from groups like this. And you think that somebody who may or may not have mental health issues isn't going to listen to this type of rhetoric and start to come up with extremist ideas? Did you really think that wasn't a likely consequence of that type of extreme rhetoric? Okay, that I've been warning about forever, that these people are in fact spouting things that, could motivate people to commit acts of violence. Right? Now, that's not to say that everybody that participates in BLM or that supports BLM, is radicalized like this or believes, in this type of extremist way of getting things done politically. I'm not saying that, right? Probably a majority of them don't believe in this, right? The majority of them probably do condemn this act of violence. But what I'm saying is that their rhetoric definitely has the potential to motivate people like this guy to commit acts of violence like this. That's probably what happened, okay? And what he probably did, besides having bad aim, is that he went in there to probably try to prove a point. And that could explain why the dude aimed at the guy right in front of him and still missed, because he might not have actually been trying to shoot him. He could have been trying to prove some woke point about gun control or something like that, right? That could be what it is, right? And the more I think about it, that probably will be the motive, okay? But as of right now, it seems to me to be an attempted assassination. And this guy has pleaded not guilty, even though we know basically for sure that he did it. I just don't understand how in the world do we have a criminal justice system where people who have been proven to be violent. This guy tried to murder a political candidate, Okay, what he did was very likely an assassination attempt. Okay, just using common sense. Okay, an assassination is attempting or murdering somebody for political purposes. Okay, or committing an act of violence against somebody for political purposes. This guy is a political candidate. He conducted this attack in a political office. This dude tried to assassinate a mayoral candidate. $100,000 bail. Attempted murderer. Okay, we know he did it, right? We're just going through the trial. That's a formality at this point. It's a formality because we know for a fact that he did it. And in situations like this guy should not see the light of day until the trial is done. From a practical standpoint, there are people out there that when they commit acts of violence like this, we saw it, right? It got caught on camera. People know that was him. He committed it. The gun was found on, like, there's without a doubt that he committed the act. I think it's worth holding him until the trial, okay? I think it's worth doing that for the safety and protection of the community. You just can't allow guys like this to run around in the community. Now, obviously, he's supposed to be on lockdown at the house, okay? He's supposed to be incarcerated at the house, okay? But to me, that doesn't guarantee that this guy might not snap and decide to try to do something like this again. Who knows? He might try to run away. He might try to get away. Which, I mean, if he does, then BLM loses that $100,000. But, hey, you know, I'm just saying. And speaking of BLM and $100,000 and raising this stuff, what happened to all the money that's supposed to be going towards the actual black community, right? In terms of helping out these communities. Because every time I look, BLM, they're always using their funds to bail out criminals. I don't ever hear about them using their funds to do anything except bail out criminals. Okay? At this point, it seems like that organization is simply exists to bail out criminals, right? Including failed alleged assassins. Okay? That's what they're out here doing. And for whatever reason, people think that they're on the right side of history by continuing to donate to this group of people. A group of people that, in my opinion, have shown us that their only real intent is to cause as much chaos as possible in this society, because that is what this is. These people are agents of chaos. They don't want order. Why are you using your money to bail out this guy? If you got $100,000 laying around to bail out some criminal, why don't you put that $100,000 in use and, I don't know, give it to a black business or something, right? Do the things with it that you claim you're doing with it. That's what really blows my mind. And while it is very public that BLM has been shady with their finances, now obviously this is a more of a local chapter. This isn't the national organization, but they all shady, right? For the most part, okay? I think most of them are shady, right? If you're using your funds, you got $100,000 laying around and you're using it to just, you know, bail out guys like this, there's a problem, right? There's an issue, okay? But again, it blows my mind that people willing to donate money to this, right? First and foremost, knowing that that's what they do with the money and that they have shady finances. Nobody really knows what else they're doing with the money, okay? But also on top of that, in light of what's going on with Give, Send, Go, how in the world has somebody not stepped up and said, hey, let's stop BLM for using funds to bail out criminals? I don't understand. Because Give, Send, Go gets hacked because some woke hackers don't want money going to support the freedom truckers, right? Because apparently they're bad people, right? Apparently they're insurrectionists, even though there has been very, very, very little violence associated with that movement, right? It has been the definition of a peaceful protest thus far, okay? For whatever reason, you got people out there that say, oh, no, those people we should keep from getting funds, right? We should hack companies that are trying to support those people, right? People who actually work. People who aren't criminals, who aren't alleged failed assassins, okay? Attempted murderers. But BLM actively bailing out people who have hurt other people, who have committed acts of violence, and for whatever reason, nobody has tried to stop that group of people from getting money, right? Say, hey, you know what? It's wrong for people to be sending money to these folks. Let me get in the middle of that. Let me stop that, right? Nobody has done that. Nobody said anything about that. Again, I find it fascinating how this stuff works. I really do. But, I mean, it really doesn't even need to be said. I mean, this guy's bail should not have been set to $100,000. Like, this dude attempted to murder somebody. Why in the world would you set his bail so low, knowing that groups like BLM and other woke revolutionaries are going to try to raise money to bail the guy out, right? It's almost like some of these people want their communities to be terrorized, right? Like, they don't give a damn about safety or, protecting lives or anything like that. What they care most about is simply just being woke, okay? And not, disproportionately disenfranchising black people, okay? That's kind of what it seems like to me. Instead of doing your damn job and making sure people like this guy don't see the light of day until trial, right? Because this guy attempted to murder somebody. I think we need to start a new movement, right? We need a new movement called Law-Abiding Citizens Lives Matter, right? Law-Abiding Citizens Lives Matter. Because it seems like in 2022, in woke America, the only lives that matter to a lot of these people on the left are criminal lives, okay? So maybe we need to start a movement to show that people that actually obey the law, okay, and that are positive contributors to their community, our lives matter as well, okay? Our lives matter, right? But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.